Right now, millions of people are using one button to log into dozens of apps, and they think it's making them safer. Outputs. Ever wonder what actually happens behind that Sign In with Google button? Today, I'll explain how Google Login works like you're 5 years old. By the end, you'll understand exactly why this safe shortcut might be the biggest vulnerability in your entire digital life. Think about how many apps you've signed into using that little button. Your food delivery apps, your streaming accounts, that productivity tool you tried once and forgot about. Every news site that asked you to create an account. You clicked the button and Google confirmed who you were. And it felt safer than making up another password you'd forget anyway. Most people have used that button more times than they can count. And most have no idea what they agreed to each time they did. Here's the thing. That feeling is completely backwards. Let's start with why Sign In with Google feels like the safe choice. The logic sounds reasonable, and on the surface, it actually makes sense. Google has world-class security, two-factor authentication, and billions of dollars in infrastructure protecting your account. If you use Google as your key, you're borrowing all of that protection, right? One master key and one super secure lock. Consolidating, streamlining, being smart about it. That's the conventional wisdom, and it's exactly what we need to break. Because here's what you actually built. And it's not what you think. Imagine your house has 12 doors, and normally each door has its own key. Lose one key, and only one door is compromised. Annoying, but contained. Now imagine you replaced all 12 locks with a single master key that opens everything. Same key, every door. Feels efficient. But if someone gets that one key, they don't just have one door. They have all 12. That's exactly what you built with your Google account. The term for this is a single point of failure, and Google is yours. Most people assume that if their Google password is strong enough, long, random, impossible to guess, this problem mostly goes away. Just protect the master key well enough, and the whole system holds. But that's not how most Google accounts actually get taken over. Here's the part nobody tells you. The most common way to lose access to your Google account has nothing to do with your password. It's through something called a session token, and this is where the real danger actually lives. Think of a session token like a wristband at a theme park. You pay at the gate, they scan your ID, and they put the wristband on you. Now, for the rest of the day, you don't have to prove who you are again. Just flash the wristband, and you're in. Every ride, every area, no questions asked. When you sign into Google, your browser gets one of these wristbands, a small file that tells every website, this person already proved who they are. You don't have to type your password every time. The wristband handles it. Now here's the problem. Those wristbands can be stolen. Not your password, not your two-factor code, just the wristband itself. There's an entire category of malware called info stealer software. It's specifically designed to pull session tokens off your device. These programs don't need to crack anything. They just reach into your browser storage and take what's already there. And once someone has your wristband, they walk straight into your account. Password irrelevant. Two-factor irrelevant. The theme park cannot tell the difference between you and someone wearing your wristband. What makes this especially alarming is that info stealers don't require a sophisticated attacker to deploy them. They're sold as ready-made tools, often with customer support and user-friendly dashboards, making them accessible to criminals with almost no technical background. A person halfway around the world can purchase one, run it through a phishing link or a compromised download, and collect hundreds of session tokens in a single afternoon. The victim never receives an alert. No failed login attempt is logged. No suspicious activity warning gets triggered. Because from the system's perspective, the person using the wristband is you. This actually happens. In 2023, a wave of these attacks hit content creators, developers, and regular people. Their accounts were taken over not because their passwords were weak, because their session tokens were lifted. Info stealers like Redline and Raccoon were specifically identified as the tools used in many of these incidents. Malware that anyone can purchase on the dark web for a few $100s. And because they'd used Sign In with Google everywhere, one stolen wristband opened not just their Google account, but every app connected to it. That's the, wait, they can actually do that moment. Your password didn't matter. Your two-factor authentication didn't matter. The whole protection system you built was bypassed. Not broken, bypassed. Someone grabbed the wristband instead of picking the lock. Everything is fine. But here's where it escalates further, and this is the part that almost nobody thinks about. When you use Sign In with Google to log into a third-party app, Google doesn't just hand over a wristband. It also hands over permissions. Basic stuff usually, your name, your email address, but some apps ask for more. Access to your calendar, your contacts, your Gmail. And here's the part that's easy to miss. You often agree to those permissions in about half a second. The permission screen is designed so the Allow button is large, blue, and directly in front of your face. The list of what you're actually granting sits above it. Smaller font, easy to skim past. The screen says, this app would like to view your contacts, read your email, manage your calendar. What that actually means. This app now has a permanent standing key to those things. Not just for today, until you manually go revoke it. Most people never revoke it. Most people forget the app exists. You clicked Allow once in 2021. The access is still running right now. Go to your Google account. Settings, Security, Third-party apps with account access. Look at the list. Chances are there are apps on there you haven't thought about in years. Apps that were acquired by companies you've never heard of. Apps that quietly updated their privacy policy without sending you a notification about it. Apps that technically still have access to your contacts and calendar this second, because the permission doesn't expire. The access doesn't expire. You're forgetting about it is the whole business model. Research consistently shows that the average person has granted access to far more third-party apps than they believe, often 2 or 3 times more than they'd estimate if you ask them. Some of those apps no longer even exist as independent companies. They were bought, merged, or folded into larger platforms whose data practices you never reviewed and never agreed to. But here's something almost nobody thinks about. Google isn't just the middleman in this system. It's also the observer. The more you use Sign In with Google everywhere, the more Google learns about which apps you use, how often, and in what combination. They see every sign-in request. They see every permission grant. It's another data point in the enormous map of your digital life that Google is continuously building. The feature that feels like it's protecting you is also the feature doing the mapping. And it maps things you might not want mapped. Google sees that you signed into a fertility tracker on Tuesday, a mental health journaling app on Wednesday, a legal document service on Friday. They don't need to read your entries. The pattern alone tells a story. Each individual app might seem harmless in isolation, but connected through a single login system, they form a detailed behavioral profile. Your health concerns, your legal situation, your relationships, your anxieties. The privacy policy says we use your data to improve your experience. What that means? The connections between your apps are more revealing than any single app on its own. So here's where we are. You wanted a simple, secure way to manage your logins. Reasonable. You picked Sign In with Google because Google felt trustworthy. Also reasonable. But what you actually built was a system where one stolen wristband opens everything, where apps you forgot about still hold keys to your private information, and where the act of using the feature feeds data back into the machine you thought you were just borrowing security from. The master key felt like the smart play. But the smartest move is actually a different key for every door. That means a password manager, not Google, doing the work. A password manager gives you the same convenience without handing one company a complete map of everywhere you go online. You don't have to burn your Google account down, but go check that third-party access list tonight. Revoke anything you don't recognize or don't actively use, because those apps aren't waiting for you to remember them. Their access is already running in the background, quiet and uninterrupted. Exactly the way it was designed to work. Here's the question worth sitting with. If Google disappeared tomorrow and took every connected app with it, how much of your digital life goes down in one shot? Drop your number in the comments, because most people count higher than they expect.